The compensation architecture of Silicon Valley is quietly collapsing. You sit down across from a researcher, 28 years old, 3 years removed from his PhD, no expression on his face. You expect the usual negotiation: base salary, bonus structure, equity vesting. Instead, he slides across a term sheet that reads like a salary cap allocation. $10 million in liquid compensation. Unrestricted access to 2,000 H100 chips. Look at that number long enough, and one conclusion becomes unavoidable. You are no longer running a software company. You are running a professional sports franchise. This is the pricing anomaly currently tearing through the balance sheets of the world's largest tech companies. The top AI engineers of this era have abandoned the compensation logic of senior software developers entirely. They have adopted, wholesale, the bidding mechanics of NBA free agency and European football transfer markets. For 40 years, the technology industry ran on a stable, linear productivity curve. In traditional software engineering, the so-called 10x engineer commanded, at most, 3 times the salary of an average engineer. Write the most elegant code in the company, it doesn't matter. The HR funnel model always held. Job levels were rigid: L6, L7, principal, fellow. Compensation flattened out near the $1 million mark because a carbon-based worker's daily output has a hard physical ceiling. That era is over. A traditional Fortune 500 company decides to build a foundation model in-house. It puts up what it considers a serious offer, $500,000, for a senior AI researcher. No rejection email arrives, only silence. The company has misclassified the asset it's trying to buy. These engineers are not writing logical code. They are sculpting high-dimensional mathematical probability. The obvious assumption is that this premium pays for raw mathematical talent. That's only half the answer. Training a 100 billion parameter model across 100,000 GPUs is not a software engineering problem. It is a chaotic, failure-prone physics experiment. Day 14 of training, $2 million in compute burned per day. At 3 in the morning, the loss curve begins oscillating with no explanation. There is no Stack Overflow thread to consult. No published paper covers this failure mode. The entire project sits on the edge of total write-off. The researcher who can look at that curve, backed by years of intuition built from hundreds of millions of dollars in burned compute, and name the exact hyperparameter to adjust, the exact way to resplit the dataset, saves the company $30 million the second he hits enter. At that scale, a $10 million compensation package is not a salary. It is compute loss insurance. But cost savings alone don't explain the current bidding war. Tech CEOs are staring down a genuinely uncomfortable paradox. Open source models are flooding the market. Meta gives Llama's weights away for free. Mistral and a dozen other labs keep pushing that free ceiling higher. If the output of AI research is being commoditized, cheapened, given away, why is the price of the people who create it climbing exponentially? If the wheel is already free, why pay hundreds of millions for the mechanic who built it? Here's the flaw in that question. The open source models you're looking at are already obsolete behind the closed doors of the top labs. Hiring a top AI researcher was never about buying the model he shipped yesterday. It's about buying exclusive passage to the next paradigm shift. Apply the logic of a professional sports franchise. Why does an NBA team pay a superstar $50 million a year and lock him into a max contract? Not because he sells $50 million in extra tickets. Because in a winner-take-all league, the marginal value of a championship is measured in billions. Second place is worth nothing. In the current AI arms race, the marginal output of a handful of top researchers scales instantly to 3 billion users worldwide. If a small group of people discovers a new scaling law that breaks past the limits of the transformer architecture this afternoon, or solves attention decay in long context windows, that single cognitive breakthrough determines whether a $2 trillion technology empire dominates the next 5 years or collapses. At this table, you are not negotiating a salary against market comps. You are bidding aggressively against rivals for an asset that is scarce and cannot be replicated. The bidding itself is an act of defensive capital. Microsoft, Google, and Meta are not paying 8-figure packages, or spending hundreds of millions on acqui-hires of 5-person startups, purely to have these people build the next model. The real objective is to guarantee these people can never build that model for a competitor. You are not buying their labor, you are buying their non-compete clause. You are buying a rival's death sentence. This is why the traditional corporate structure is being ripped apart. Any company still measuring front-end developers, back-end infrastructure staff, and frontier model architects on the same HR scale is being eliminated from the field. The tech giants of the next decade will split, coldly, into 2 tiers. A strict, conventional performance funnel for the 99% who keep daily operations running, and a sports agent compensation system, entirely detached from the standard ledger, for the 1% who determine whether the core engine lives or dies. The market has already smelled the truth, and it's irreversible. In the age of artificial intelligence, individual human leverage has hit its mathematical ceiling. One elite human mind, wired into enough silicon compute, can create, or destroy, commercial value equal to an entire Fortune 500 company. Once you see the pricing logic underneath this, the number stops looking large. $10 million a year isn't a bidding war, it's a bargain. Subscribe to the Stack Anatomy. We'll see you in the next dissection.